Hi, Veronica. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to do this interview with me today. I'd like you to go ahead and introduce yourself so that our conference attendees can kind of get to know you before the event.
Hi, Catherine. I am thrilled to be here, and I'm so excited to be part of the Empower and Elevate conference on November 14th and be a panel member. One of the most asked questions is why do you talk about visibility? So, my sweet spot is helping entrepreneurs be so visible they can't be ignored. And
I love
it's all about why visibility is vital and not vanity. And in the world that many of us women grew up on or grew up in, it was all about be humble. Don't cast too big a shadow.
Yes,
Keep your light dim. And then we come into these incredible businesses that we're so passionate and excited about. And we watch impact happen with every single client we connect with, whether it's a product or a service. And yet, so many CEOs and founders and owners of companies find themselves being very quiet in the corner and not wanting to be the face of their company. And they don't know how to navigate through those triggers of how they grew up or what they were told when they were younger, and this incredible business that they need the world to know about so that they feel seen and
yes.
heard. And when you're looking at social media and influencers and platforms, you can feel like you're getting lost in a sea of sameness. And I'm here to help everyone in the audience really understand that they can stand out. They do have a unique selling proposition and some tools and tips and actionable items they can do that will help them do that.
I love that. Thank you. That's so great. And I was discussing this with another one of our participants in the conference when I was doing an interview. And I think, like you said, that the time that we were raised in, it was, don't cause a scene, don't make a splash. You know what I mean? Just kind of be quiet in the corner or what have you. And in order for our businesses to grow, people have to know about us. And if we're not going to talk about ourselves, how do we expect other people to talk about us as well? And so I just love that I love your podcast, Be Visible with Veronica. That's fantastic. And I just love your mission is, to basically give people permission to be visible and to be okay with it and to share their passions, and that it's not coming from a place at all of vanity. It's coming from a place of, no, I've got this great thing that I think can help you. And
And even like we got on today, I mean, your audience is going to laugh, but you and I did not know this was going to be recorded. And we're sitting here having a conversation around hair, makeup, gloss, lips, glasses, lighting,
yes,
because you get uncomfortable thinking, oh my gosh, how many people are
right.
going to see this? And it's going to go viral. And here we are having a conversation. And I said, how many men would get on a Zoom call like this or be recorded and have that come out of their mouth ever? None.
Never,
Never,
never.
never, none. And so I just really want to have that authentic, and I hate that word because it's so overused. But I want to have that conversation with women where they speak from their heart, they get out of their head, they go to their heart, and they come into that conscious space of this product, this service, this amazing business that I'm creating, I know makes an impact. I have a way to show that it does. I have proof of concept, but the phone's not ringing. I'm not getting I'm only getting vanity likes, but nobody's clicking on the link to come and find me. And I want them to know that there are things that they can do to help them feel very comfortable in that space that puts them out there. And who cares if their hair is in a top knot or they've got their glasses on and they forgot their lip gloss? Like, go be the face of your business. And it is so interesting to me, even women in the 6, 7 figure rate, high 6, 7 figure, 8 figure space still are uncomfortable owning what they created.
Isn't that crazy? Because you would think, okay, once you hit a certain income bracket or whatever, then I'm not gonna be afraid to show up, or I'm not gonna care what I'm not gonna be so critical of myself. And I
That's
have
me.
found that it doesn't matter what income bracket you are in, you are still going to pick at yourself and or feel like you're not ready, especially if it's coming, you're doing something new, you're launching a new product or service. And like for me, I was Sybil Imel, I think you know Sybil, don't you?
Mhm. Yes.
She does her content ready sessions. And the first time I went to one of her sessions, I was like so stiff with the pictures, and I didn't let my personality show through at all. It was very stiff, I guess is a good way to say it. But after being there, going through that once, and then I went back another time, because the more that you show up on camera, the easier it gets. I mean, I will still I'll still be critical of myself, not as critical as I used to be, but the more often I show up, the more often I just do the video and my background isn't perfect, or, I like today I've got this band-aid on my face. It's who cares? It's just
And
showing up.
there's a place for that. Like you want to show up in your glam, but you also want to show up in your brand. And you
Yes.
also want to show up in that visibility space. I mean, this year alone, I'm in my 25th episode of the podcast, the TV show, Be Visible with Veronica. And do you know, every week it's like, what do I wear this week that I didn't wear? Can I switch up an
Oh
outfit?
my gosh,
Like
yes.
the conversation around the clothing is hysterical. But then because I did this I said yes to a $15,000 brand photo shoot back in January. I flew to Dallas. It was completely produced. I was nervous. It was a big investment. I had no idea what I was going to do with these images. And then lo and behold, Veronica Bond Consultancy launched. Now I had all these images to use. I got invited to be on CIO Views, which is a magazine that had been tracking me since September. And now I had
Wow.
images to give them and a whole 8-page editorial I did. I was in the Six Figure Chick Volume 2 book for Phoenix. Had pictures for that, understood the photo, had clothes. I mean, I kept saying yes to myself and I invested in me. I invested in me in my yes this year. I just finished, we have a book launch coming up for the Shiro Entrepreneur book that's launching prior to, well, it'll be this weekend, November 2nd, I believe. And
Oh,
so
wow.
all of these, I was in a book called The Lemonade Stand in 2019. So I continue to invest in places that help me share my story. And because the, they call me the selfie queen, but in this visibility space of truly being authentic, be so visible you can't be ignored. This is how this works. I was at a conference in Dallas. I was standing next to a lady at a Starbucks. She came up to me and she said, "I know you." And I said, "Oh, I'm here for the conference. Are you here too?" "No, I just work downtown. I have my own company." And she said, "But I don't know how I know you, but I know you." And I don't know. We're just talking. She watched my podcast for Entrepreneur
Oh my
Now
gosh.
on YouTube. Catherine, I'm standing next to her. I live in Arizona. She's in Dallas.
Yes.
I'm at Starbucks in a line with her. And I smiled and I thought, oh my gosh, that's how visibility works.
Yes, and I love that example, and it's so beautiful, and I think 2026 is gonna be my year of yes, and I love that I got that from you, but I think that that is so important. Sometimes, especially if you're very analytical, you'll get in your head and, like, analyze basically the crap out of something before you make a decision, and I think it's important. I mean, obviously, you wanna weigh your risks and things like that, but look at how wonderful that yes was that you said to yourself for the photo shoot, and now how you have all of these areas in which you can use those pictures. And one of the pictures, I didn't use that yet, I'm going to sub it out in our thing, but that picture is gorgeous of you. I mean, all your pictures are beautiful, but that picture is gorgeous. I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. So
Well,
I
and
think
it's not always easy to figure out where to invest in yourself. And so, yes,
right.
say yes, but be very discerning. And also, sometimes, it wasn't easy to say hi and yes to an investment of some of this photo shoot when I was kind of looking at my marketing budget going, that's going to blow my entire marketing budget for the year, but is it worth it? And I found a way to make it work. So it's just like somebody said to me, when the refrigerator goes out, people find a way to spend $2,200 or whatever it is to go get the refrigerator because you have to have the refrigerator. But
Yes.
when a woman is asked to invest in her business, whether it's hiring a coach, being in an anthology, doing a new branded photo shoot, how many people, women in business, do you know who have not updated their photos in the last 2 years?
Oh my gosh.
And you
So
go
many.
and you meet them and you're like, you don't look like the LinkedIn
Right.
picture you just I know, and so in making smart choices on how you show up and being your own campaign manager and being your own PR person and sharing your story, that is where visibility will amplify who you serve, allow you to raise your revenue, your profits change, and that investment you make pays itself off in the long run 100% of the time.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. I love it when we're able to share our experiences so that other people that are traveling on this journey wherever they might be can then learn from our experiences. And I just think it's fabulous that you shared that, with us, and that you are really working to on a mission to help people be visible and step out of that almost, it's like a cocoon almost,
It's an
where you're just
uncomfortable zone. It
yeah,
truly
it's totally
is.
uncomfortable. So tell everybody how they can get a hold of you.
So you can go to where do I want to send them? Veronica, follow me on Instagram, Veronica Bond, and that's B like boy, A apple, H Henry, N Nancy on Instagram or Facebook. Be visible with Veronica. Subscribe to the YouTube TV show channel. Every week we share entrepreneurial stories. And every fourth episode, we highlight a nonprofit because you have to have a mission to your message, and
Love
that's
that.
important to me. And Veronica Bond Consultancy is the website where you can connect with me, get on my calendar, have a consult, and see how I can help you be so visible you can't be ignored.
Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you so much. And I am so excited for the conference. It's in 15 days.
Oh my gosh.
I know, it's so crazy. I'm so excited. And you said that last in March was your first Empower and Elevate conference.
It was. I was never able to attend, but I believe we're always where we're supposed to be. And I had an opportunity to have breakfast with Colleen Biggs. And I had registered for the conference prior to coming to that breakfast with her. And we were just sharing about all the things. And when I walked into that room and saw a room full, and I network all over the valley, but to walk into a room full of 200 amazing women, spend a whole day with them, and literally maybe I knew 20 in the room.
Yes.
That was a game changer.
Yes, it was, and that was my experience as well, the first time that I went to the Empower and Elevate conference, and I haven't missed one since, but just the energy in the room and just the women showing up with their hearts open, ready to help however they can. That is just it's been such a blessing in my life, and I'm so grateful that Colleen approached me about taking it over so that we could carry it on, because I cannot imagine a world that this conference isn't going on to continue. She's
And
built
you're
something
doing such a
fabulous.
beautiful job. Between the panelists, the community that you've created, the Facebook group that you have, the way that you highlight everybody who's involved, and then in the luncheon itself, the way that you network and how you set time aside for people to get to know each other and really connect. And the other thing that I really loved is the collaboration that came from it and the referrals that happened because of it. I don't know about you in the audience, but how many times have you gone to an event and you've left with connections, or you thought you made some good ones and then there was no additional follow up after? And that has to fall on our shoulders too. We have to be
Right.
to make those connections and those calls. But even if you met two people, that would be my goal for everybody here. Connect with two people that you know you'll have a coffee with, you'll have a follow up with, and that it's not transactional. You're there to really help serve them and to
Yes.
highlight who they are and their business, and it will come back to you tenfold. The relationship you will build because you took the time to get to know somebody, like I have with Catherine here, and all the other women that I've met because of that event in March, has really elevated my circle. And we know what Colleen's famous line was: your network is your net worth.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much, Veronica. And if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, there's still a few tickets left. You can go to empowerandelevateconference.com. And if you use the promo code EMPOWER, you can get your ticket for $47.
And we will make
So,
sure we put that in the comments too below.
yes, definitely. Thank you so much. I so appreciate your time and I just love your energy and everything that you're doing to support entrepreneurs and help us in the areas that, because a lot of times there's areas that we have a blind spot in, and I think visibility is a huge one. And so I just think that it's amazing that what you're doing. I love it.
Thank you so much, Catherine. We'll see you guys. I'm excited to be on the panel, and we'll see you in 15 days.